What's up, everybody? This is She again, and this next installment in my screaming tutorial videos is going to discuss how to get the, I don't even know what to call it, fry, kind of your compression fry. Not just normal fry screaming, because that kind of sounds lame, like the Melissa Cross kind. Don't listen to them. Not necessary. So, this is going to teach you how to, in the last video, you worked on your throat singing, and then this is going to be the second half to your basic scream, which is, you've got the bottom end, now you need that rasp, that kind of, to give that bottom end some more fullness, give it some harsh, kind of overtony things. You have my technical nomenclature here. So, anyway, what you're going to do is you're going to start by whispering, and a lot of people call it air screaming, and it's a good way to practice. It doesn't work like hit a microphone or anything, but if you just start, like, mimic your favorite song, favorite metal song, mimic the guy screaming, but with just whispering. I know you've done it. Everybody does it. You know. What's a good song? We enter winter once again. We enter winter once again. Like, now we enter winter once again. Something like that. Just do that. Get used to kind of talking, but with a screamy sounding whisper. And I was actually even kind of lapsing into fry just because I do it so often. But yeah, or you can just do your simple, like, yeah, like mimic, you know, you're the big crowd at the baseball game. Yeah. So there's a reason that people associate that kind of whisper with like a big crowd screaming, because they're very similar. They're very similar sounds, and that's kind of the point you want your throat to be at, like as far as the shape that, you know, you're keeping your tongue at and your throat, because all of that's very necessary, and all of it plays plays into how the scream is going to sound. Like, even the positioning of your tongue in your mouth has a huge difference on how the scream resonates as it's coming out. So do that a little bit. And try doing it harder. Like, as you do it a little bit, just try to put more air behind it. Like, and then if you can, start compressing with your diaphragm a little bit. You know, like flex, it'll be like your top 2 abs if you could do that. But do that until you get, like, do this a little bit. Like, close off your throat and just try to squish all the air in you. Like, and make that noise too, so that way you know you've got the compression going. Like, it's trying to get out. You're just trying to go. And then try to get that compression, like you squeeze it real tight. And then you do that same blowing the air out. So it's like, do that. And then eventually you'll start to maybe feel like some grit on the back of your throat, like, if you're doing that kind of noise too. Do that while you're doing it. And you'll probably get a lot of sounds like that are like, well, that's not really screaming, it just sounds like kind of bogus grunting. But that's how you start. Like, that's how you get the fundamentals in place, and then you can work on how it actually sounds and how it actually is coming out after you get how you're supposed to be doing it. So then just concentrate on keeping that compression, that real tight compression. Like, it'll make your stomach sore if you haven't been doing it much. It's a workout. You'll get some sweet abs if you're doing a lot of screaming. So work on that compression, and then try to just, instead of making a grunt that's just like, try to let it just go for a little bit. Like you're letting it out slowly. You're still keeping it every bit as compressed, because that compression is the key to getting it out with any sort of force behind it. And eventually, the goal is to get to a point where you're going, And that's screaming. Like, that's pretty much there. And then after you get that, then you can start working on how your throat's lined up, how your mouth is, your tongue is, so that you get that actual scream sound rather than just a raspy grunt sound. And this also, as I explained in another couple videos, has everything as much to do with your mouth placement as it does the diameter of your throat, how wide you're keeping it. And a lot of people don't use this kind of, those muscles to alter the diameter of their throat. If you're like sucking on helium is how it sounds, or Meat Wad from Aqua Teen Hunger Force, do that. If you can make this noise, then you're one step closer to screaming. Yeah. So, do that same prolonged grunt, but then try to squeeze your muscles in your throat together to get that high-pitched yow! 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 And you've learned how to scream. So, that's that. I'll work on putting them together in other videos. Thanks for watching.